Welcome back to Crazy Dave's Crew. I'm Laura, and you're watching Thursday Threads. Today I want to redo a video. I think it was the very first video that I did by myself, and you only saw my hands, and I have to admit it was kind of funny, and I made some mistakes. So I'd kind of like to redo it and do it better, and we are going to be referring to this video quite a bit. There are 3 different ways to make a 4-patch. Very quick, very simple. And I've gone ahead and cut out all my fabric here. I have some 2.5-inch squares. I have some 2.5-inch strips, and then I have some 5.5-inch squares. Well, the first way that you can do it, and I am using a piecing foot. I'm going to take 2 of my little check, my plaid, and 2 of the blue. And we're just going to sew those together along the seam. Scissors. Put these aside. And I love my little gizmo. It's called the cutting gizmo. When I'm chain piecing, this comes in handy. And if I were doing this for my quilt, I would have done a lot of these. I'm going to press them open towards the blue side. We're going to put them together. And where I have them each going towards the blue, you're going to have a really nice nesting area there. And you can feel it when you bring it over. And here's where people differ. Even on a small piece like this, I'm going to put in 2 pins, one on each side of my seam. Because again, I know me. If I don't, things will slip and I won't have that nice seam. So I do one before the seam and one after the seam. Now, if you don't have to pin, and you get it right every single time without pinning, you are my hero. You're a sewing rock star. I know I don't, and I know I can't. Careful with the pins. Kind of scoot them down just a little bit so that the pin is not in the sewing area, but it's still holding the fabric together. And there is a 4-patch. 2.5-inch squares sewn together, and you've got a 4-patch. So that's one way. The second way would be to take some 2.5-inch strips. So when you do it this way, you're stuck with these colors. This is the color scheme you're using. But that's okay, because I like these colors. Now, these were from Walmart, which the last couple times I've been to a Walmart, our fabric department has kind of, disappeared. I personally think they're making a mistake, but I'm just going to connect these two strips. And I'm going to press them open towards the blue. Alright, ta-da! And I'm going to cut off of these strips. And I'm going to cut them by 2.5 inches. And that's one of the reasons I love my 2.5 inch ruler. It's good stuff. And to make sure I've got it straight, I'm going to use one of these lines on my seam line. Okay, does that make sense? So when I cut, okay, see how that line is on that line. I'm going to trim it so it's all nice and even. And this is a 2.5 inch ruler. That's the size I want. I've cut one. And I'm going to cut another one. Okay. And I'm just going to butt those seams up again. Right. Can you see right there how they just nestle right in. So I'm going to sew this down, and it's going to look just like the other one. And you can't really tell the difference. It's the same thing. But this one you've got 1, 2, 3 seams. This one just had 2 seams of sewing. But either one will work. Obviously, if you're going to have a mishmash, you know, different things, and you want all the squares to be different, you'd have to do it one by one. Now the other way, this is my favorite way. If I'm using the same 2 colors, so I think I cut this 5.5. If I wanted it to match this, I should have done 5. I do believe. I am going to draw a line down the middle, just straight down the middle. So that is going to be 2 3/4. So I'm setting it on my mat. I'm going to set it right here at the 14 mark. I'm going to take my ruler, instead of going all the way to the side, I'm going to go in 1/4. And I am going to just go ahead and draw a line. And I'm going to do the same thing this way. Ears off. And I'm going to piece these together. I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on this side and a 1/4 inch on this side. So I'm going to sew 1/4 inch from this line up and down both ways. I'm going to put my 1/4 inch foot little guide right on that line, and I'm just going to sew it down. Okay, now I'm just going to cut down the line. So it's going to be right in between my two seams. Let's see here. There's that. And I have my little together. I'm going to press towards the blue. And now I'm going to put them together like this. Again, finding my nesting seam there, pinning it. And this time I want to do it on both ends, because both ends are important. You'll never guess why I think that that is an important thing to do, to pin it on both ends. Oh, yeah, because I didn't, and because I am sewing down the center, my end slipped. And it wasn't real pretty. Yeah, see, it's not exact right there, so I need to get it together. Boy, do I need to get it together. Make sure everything's nice and nestled all the way down. And that did not, I missed it. There we go. Now I can feel it nice and flat. Make sure I've got a line down the center on both pieces. And right down the center, you'll never guess what I'm going to do. 1/4 inch on each side. And I've pushed my pins all the way back so they're not going to be in the way. Take my pins out, and then I'm going to cut straight down that line, right in between those seams. I That's what we're going to get. We're going to get 2 of these. But let's cut this right down the center. Ta-da! You get 1, 2. So you get 2 of these with 1, 2, 3, 4 seams and a couple cuts. But I like it by being careful. I can get nice on point, and if they're not on point, they're really close. So those are the 3 ways. You can just take your little squares and sew together to make your 4 patch. You can take your strips, sew your strips together, and then cut pieces and make a 4 patch. Or you can take your big squares. And let's see, what is my measurement? So these are right about 5 inches. The ones that I did over here, they're a little smaller. I think they're a 4-inch square. And of course you will want to trim them up. Nope, sorry, 4.5-inch square. 4.5-inch square. Yeah, because with the 1/4 inch, we've got 2 1/4, 2 1/4. So this would be a 4.5-inch square. This is a 4.5-inch square. So 3 ways. Easy breezy, beautiful. And this is something you can make any size you want to. Whatever it is you're working for. Just remember, whatever sizes you equal, double it and then take a 1/2 inch away. And that's how big you'll be. So 2.5 and 2.5 is 5, minus the 2 1/4 seams, and that became 4.5. Does that make sense? So I started out with 5.5-inch squares. Oh, minus a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch for the 2 seams, and you have 5 inches. Like I said, easy breezy, lemon squeezy. And this is something just to use up scraps, use up stash. It's a stash buster. Have fun practicing on your points, nestling those seams. It all works. Now, obviously, if you're going to do a big 4 patch, well, you're going to have to start with a much bigger square. And that you'll get 2 identical. I hope this has been helpful, and I really hope that this is a better video than my very first one. I think sometimes it's good to go back to the basics, redo some videos every now and then, refresh myself, refresh you guys on, like I said, the basics. And don't forget our contest. You can enter every day. We're getting real close to our goal. If you didn't hear about the contest or don't remember, be sure to check out this video. And in there you can check the links, get the links to the contest, enter, share, etc., etc. Get more entries, and we will let you know when we draw a winner. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope to see you again soon, right here on Crazy Dave's Crew. Thanks for watching.